Shalom, welcome to my channel, The Hebrew Bible. This is Moses Gumadi, and in this video we'll talk about the bronze serpent or the brazen serpent from the Parashat Huqqat. I've done already another video on this Parashat Huqqat, which is actually from it's a Torah portion. Parashat is a Torah portion from the book of Numbers chapter 19 onwards until the first verse of chapter 22, which contains all of these things: the red heifer, death of Miriam, Moses striking the rock for the water, etc. And we're going to look at this particular event about Moses making a bronze serpent in the wilderness. Let's read Numbers chapter 21 verse 4. We read there, Vayis'u mehor hahar derech Yamsuf Lisvov et Eretz Edom. So they journeyed, Vayis'u, they journeyed from the mountain of Hor. Mehor hahar, Har is the mountain, Hor is the name of the mountain, and by the way of the Red Sea, Derech Yamsuf. Yamsuf is the Red Sea. To go around Lisvov et Eretz Edom, around the land of Edom, and the people became disheartened because of the way. Vatiktsar. Vatiktsar is the word. Vatiktsar is in the Vayiktol stem and in the Kal, Kal stem, Vayiktol conjugation, and in the third person feminine singular. What it means is, and she was disheartened. So who is the she? She was disheartened. So if you go back to the text, Vatiktsar nefesh ha'am. So this word refers to the nefesh, the soul of the people. And the soul of the people, she became disheartened, meaning the entire people became disheartened or disappointed, etc. And the root is kof sadik resh. It means to be impatient, to be vexed, etc. Now reading further, Vaydaber ha'am be'Elohim u'Moshe lama he'elithunu. Why have you brought us up, Mitzrayim, from Egypt, Lamut bamidbar, to kill us in the wilderness? Ki ein lechem ve'ein maim. There is no water, there is no bread. Lechem is, lechem is of course, chaf is pronounced, lechem, you can say. Chet, in the Sephardic pronunciation, is not pronounced as harshly as chaf. Whereas in Israeli pronunciation, of course, they pronounce both chet and chaf in the same way. Ein lechem ve'ein maim. So I do sometimes pronounce both ways, but do generally tend to soften a bit. Right. Now, so there's no water and bread, and they basically murmured. And what happened? And the Lord sent serpents. Vaishalach Adonai ba'am et ha-nechashim ha-seraphim, venomous snakes. Nachash is the root word, means a serpent. Ha-nechashim, that is the plural. Ha-seraphim, that's the word. Seraph, venomous snakes. Seraph is a serpent, a fiery serpent, meaning venomous serpent. Why is that fiery? Well, because it burns if it is venomous, Seraph. That word Seraph, noun, comes from the verb Seraph, which means he burnt. Or the root is sin, not shin, sin with a dot on the left, resh, fe, which means to burn. In the previous lesson, we looked at the red heifer. In the red heifer, para aduma, was burnt outside the camp, and that word saraf is used there as well in that particular passage. Now, interestingly, the word saraf, which means serpent, also there is a similar word in Sanskrit. Sarpa means snake. Sarapa, So these three sounds, very interestingly, they overlap. And I know the linguists, academicians will say, well, these two languages belong totally to different language families. There are no overlaps, etc. But you know what? I can read both languages, and I do often find once in a while, maybe not many, but there are indeed some overlaps. Now, how they have overlaps and why, we don't know, but that's certainly, this one is certainly an overlap that we have with Hebrew. Okay, so now the same word, saraf, means a snake, which is a venomous snake. We read here in the book of Isaiah about the seraphim. Interestingly, it's the same word. Seraphim, omdim mima'allo shesh kanafim lachad. Each one had 6 and 6 wings, etc. And they were flying, and they were there in the heaven, around the heavenly throne, glorified serpents. Basically, they are now harmless. They've got wings, and they're not going on the ground. They're vertical, standing up. Omdim, it says omdim means they stood. Looks like transformed serpents, and in fact they come with one of the seraphim comes with the tongs, with a coal, and touches it to the lips of Isaiah, because Isaiah said, "Oh, I am a man of unclean lips," and he was cleansed. And they cried, these seraphim cried day and night, "Holy, holy, holy is the Lord of hosts, Kadosh, 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 Adonai Tsevaot," and all his glory, the whole earth is full of his glory. Kol haaretz, Kol haaretz kevodo. Melo kol haaretz kevodo, which means that the whole earth is filled with his glory. Right, so this seraphim, it's the same word. Seraphim is a seraph. This is a verb, of course. That's the seraph. Is a serpent. Also, it means to burn, as I said. Whatever is burnt is also used in the same way. So some people call it a burning ones, etc. But both are related. The word for burning in the seraph comes from the burning sensation of the venom. Okay. Now, of course, these are burning ones. You could give both meanings. So there is a double meaning, definitely. There are some burning-looking creatures up in the heavens with wings, etc. And they are no doubt whatsoever serpentine, but they are now praising the Lord. They are no longer like that old serpent which deceived Eve to tell lies. No, that's not what they're doing. Right, so coming back to the book of Numbers, why is that important? Let's go forward. And we see the people came to Moses. Vayavo ha'am el Moshe. They came. Vayomru. They said, Chatanu ki dibarnu b'Adonai v'wach. We have sinned, Chatanu. And because we have spoken against the Lord and against you. Hitpalel El Adonai, pray to the Lord, right? So, ve'yaser me'alenu et hanakash, so that he can take out what? Et hanakash. Et hanakash, this is a ha, there is an article here, of course, also the direct object, marker, et. So this is the snake, singular, that he may remove or lift up the snake, me'alenu, vayaser me'alenu, from upon us. So he may remove the snake from upon us, the snake. So there is the snake, that is a particular snake, as in, they're not talking about multiple snakes. Of course, multiple snakes are creating the problem, but they are speaking about the snake, et hanachash. He removed the snake from us. So Moses prayed, Vayithpalel Moshe be'ad ha'am. He prayed for the people. So here is the word hitpalel. Hitpalel is an imperative, meaning it's a command or a request. You can say to the second person in front of you, masculine singular in this case. This hitpa'el stem basically is a reflexive stem, and what it means is whatever action is done to oneself. There are several of such actually in Hebrew, not translated properly because it doesn't really make sense in English or in the culture. But like if you say, what is a translation? Pray thyself. Well, it is not pray thyself as such. You could be like pray for yourself or pray to yourself. So the action is the verb. In the verb, the action of the verb is done upon oneself. That's a reflexive verb. So for example, he got himself up, right? So those kind of things. So pray thyself. And then we read in the next word, Vayitpallel, means and he prayed himself. But obviously to the Lord. El Adonai is also there. Which means that the Lord said to Moses, Ani Anochi or Ani Imach, means I am with thee. I am with you. Where is he? He's inside. He is accessible to Moses and he's able to hear his voice from within his own person deep inside. And so he prays to the Lord in a reflexive manner, but he prays it to the Lord and not to himself, of course. But, there is this is a bit very interesting, this concept. Okay, let's move on. And so what did the Lord say? The Lord said, Vayomer Adonai el Moshe, Ase lecha saraf, make for yourself a serpent. Vesim oto al nes, and put it up on the pole or a banner, nes. Vehaya kol hanashuk vera'a oto vachai. Whoever is bitten by it and whoever he sees ra'a, sees it, oto vachai, and he shall live. And so Moses vayas Moshe Nachash Nechoshet. Moses made a Nachash Nechoshet. The Lord told Moses to make a seraph, and Moses made Nachash Nechoshet. Very interesting. So that means that both are related. One God said to make a seraph, and he makes a Nachash Nechoshet. Nachash. Why is it called Nachash instead of Nachash? There's a shwa instead of a kamatz because this is in the construct, meaning serpent of Nechoshet means bronze. So here is the interesting bit. The root word for bronze, or some people might say copper or brass or whatever that is, Nechoshet and Nachash, they have the same root word, nun chet shin. Very interesting. Now, let's move on. And so what happened? What happens? So he made a Nachash Nechoshet and put it upon Al-Hannes, upon the pole. And Vahaya im Nashach Han-Nachash, whoever the Nachash has bitten, Han-Nachash, whoever was bitten by the snake. Bitten by snakes. It's not snakes. It is bitten by the snake. Which one? Et ish vehibit el nechash nechoshet vehibit el nechash han nechoshet vachai. So whoever was bitten by the snake is not bitten by the snake. That guy, if he looks up or if he looks at the bronze snake, which is lifted up on the pole, then he shall live. So what is the meaning of all this? So here is the thing. The serpent represents the evil inclination, Yetzer Hara, or Yetzer Hatov is the good inclination. These two inclinations are present in every man. This is also mentioned in the New Testament in the book of Romans chapter 7. Yetzer Hara is, I think the serpent represents the Yetzer Hara, that is the evil inclination. And the bronze serpent which is made is no longer alive in that sense. It is looking, its bronze represents judgment. And a bronze serpent cannot crawl on the ground. It cannot bite. And a snake which is lifted up and hung on the pole, it looks like as though it is hung, and so it is cursed, or like it is judged, so it is killed and hung. And so it is no longer alive. Or a bronze serpent, once it is in bronze, it is not a real serpent. It's hardened material, and therefore it can't do anything. And so when people look up at the bronze serpent, hey, they will look up with an idea that, hey, the Nachash it cannot bite any longer. It's up there. It's not on the ground. It's not going to come crawl and bite, and it can't move anyway because it's bronze now. And then when people look up into the heaven, they look beyond what is hanging on that pole and look towards heaven, towards God for strength. And you have all these ideas, I think, embedded within this incident, within this narrative. There is also the idea of transforming the force of evil into good. So whatever is at the root cause, or whatever is the root which is causing one towards exercising his evil inclination, that very force could be transformed into good. Now, why am I saying this? Well, everything in the world, for example, if you take a knife, one can cut an apple, cut vegetables to make your meal, or it could be used for stabbing and killing another person. It's the same instrument. Electricity, for example, it could give shock and kill people. But the same electricity in a very directed way, very controlled manner, could rotate a motor. It could actually make your car run and make many appliances work. And Moses had a staff in his hand. God told him, throw the staff down. Staff is Moses' tool. He was using it, to climb the mountains and do other things. And he threw it on the ground, and it became a snake. Moses was afraid, and he started running off. But God told, pick up it was his own staff, wasn't it? I mean, why is he afraid of it? He's running off from his own staff because now it looks like a snake actually coming to bite him. And so God told him, pick it up from the tail. He picked up, and it became the staff again. It became hardened. It became the staff again. So essentially what Moses did in the end is he transformed the serpent, which was lying down, into a staff. Now once it's a staff, it is vertical and upright. Okay, so that's the picture. So the snake which is on the ground and moving is dangerous, but when it is picked up, well, I'm not saying the literal snake, don't pick up a literal snake and try to make it a vertical. Maybe if it is put it in a vertical position, it can't do anything. But what we're trying to say is that the incidents that are written in the scriptures are essentially a lesson that tell us how to transform that force of evil that acts within every man, to transform it into good, thereby defeating it. You defeat it and basically use that very force, the life force that works within you to do bad things, could be used to turn you around to do good things. That's the point. Okay, that brings us to the end of this video. Thank you for watching. Please do like this video, subscribe to my channel, click the bell icon, and please do comment below. And I will see you again with another video as soon as I can. Thank you very much.